All right, so buckle up, everybody, because today we are diving deep into a fantasy world, but not one you'll find on a bookshelf.
Oh,
This time we're taking a look at Helsmuth, a fantasy novel posted online, on one of those fan fiction websites.
interesting. So like a work in progress?
Exactly. It's just the beginning chapters, but there's already so much to unpack.
So like we're getting a sneak peek behind the curtain.
Exactly. And you know me, I love a good mystery.
Right. Always eager to dissect the clues.
So let's jump right in. The story opens with our main character, Lord Martakatronin, having this crazy, vivid dream.
A dream.
Yeah, and not just any dream. It's a prophetic vision about this, like malevolent force hiding in the mountains.
Ooh, spooky.
Right. I talk about starting with a bang.
Definitely grabbed his attention.
And then we get introduced to this amazing city, Helsmuth. It's built on these old elven ruins, kind of like a frontier town.
I see a mix of cultures, maybe some tension brewing.
Oh, absolutely. There's this Bardic college and these tea rooms called the Panashina tea rooms, and you can just feel the political undercurrents.
Oh, I love those little details. Like they give the world texture.
Right. It's not just a generic fantasy city. It feels lived in,
Yeah, I can already picture those tea rooms like a hub of gossip and intrigue.
Exactly. But then things take a dark turn, like literally dark.
Hmm.
The city's cathedral vanishes overnight.
Vanishes?
Poof, gone.
Yeah.
Replaced by this unsettling darkness and these creepy whispers.
Wow. That's a bold move by the author. Throws everything into chaos.
Right. It's like, what happened? Where did it go? And then we meet our adventuring party.
Oh, the classic fantasy trope.
But with some interesting twists. We have Martok, the warlock, haunted by nightmares.
So he's connected to this dream world somehow.
Yeah. And then there's Elsa, the warrior.
The strong, silent type.
Actually, she's more like the strong speaks her mind type.
There already.
And then we have Luckwind, the changeling.
It's a shapeshifter. Always fun.
Right. They add an element of unpredictability to the group.
Yeah.
And finally, we have Eolon, the elf.
The mysterious one.
Oh, yeah. It definitely seems like he's hiding something.
I'm sensing some trust issues within the group.
For sure. And it doesn't help that there's this underlying tension between humans and elves.
The classic fantasy conflict.
Right. But it's not just a simple good versus evil thing. There are missing lumberjacks, an assassination attempt during an elven festival. It's complicated.
That's what makes it interesting, those shades of gray.
And then there's this enigmatic figure, Madame Zelda, or Kalanis, as the elves call her.
A wise old sage.
She's a seer, living in this mystical forest called the Entwood. And she drops some serious knowledge on our heroes.
Like a prophecy.
Exactly. She talks about an ancient evil and a girl who will be queen.
Ooh, that's juicy. So what happens to her?
Well, let's just say she makes a dramatic exit.
Oh no. Did she sacrifice herself to save the world or something?
I'm not spoiling anything, but it's definitely a pivotal moment in this story.
So now our heroes are on a quest.
They're heading for the Wall of the World, these mysterious mountains where few dare to tread.
The classic perilous journey.
There are rumors of terrifying creatures, yak folk, who are supposedly even worse than minotaurs.
Oh, those poor yak folk always getting a bad rap.
And they find these ancient boulders with strange carvings.
Like clues left by some ancient civilization?
It seems like everything is connected, but how? That's what they're trying to figure out.
And where does the hidden library come into play? The Library of Whispers?
Oh, that's a good one. Luckwind, being the sneaky changeling they are, manages to sneak in and sees a map.
A map. Could it be the key to navigating those mountains?
It seems likely. But what secrets does it hold? And what dangers will they face on their journey? That's what we'll be exploring in the next part of our deep dive.
I'm hooked.
Me too.
Yeah.
There's just something about a well-crafted fantasy world that draws you in.
It's like escapism, but with a touch of mystery and danger.
And who doesn't love a good prophecy?
Especially when it involves ancient evils and potential queens.
So make sure to stick around for part 2, where we'll delve even deeper into the mysteries of Helsmuth.
Can't wait.
Okay, so picking up where we left off, our heroes are venturing deeper into the mountains, and the atmosphere is getting, well,
Spookier.
spookier, yeah. It's like the author is cranking up the tension dial. You can practically feel the shadows closing in.
And remember that prophecy about the ancient evil lurking in the mountains?
Right, it's like a sword hanging over their heads,
Nah.
And then there are these rumors of yak folk.
Yak folk.
Yeah, these terrifying creatures that live in the high peaks. The dwarf they met, Thorin, he made them sound absolutely horrifying.
Worse than minotaurs, he said.
Even worse. So our heroes are trekking through this treacherous landscape with prophecies and monsters on their minds.
Talk about pressure.
I know, right? But then they stumble upon something unexpected. A dwarven fortress.
A fortress in the middle of nowhere.
Yep. And not just any fortress. This one is specifically designed for dragon slayers.
Dragon slayers. That's interesting. Are dragons a big problem in this world?
It seems so. And this fortress, it's like a symbol of defiance, like humanity pushing back against these mythical beasts.
I see a shift in power dynamics, perhaps.
Exactly. It adds a whole new layer to the world building.
So what happens at the fortress?
Well, they don't stay long, but it's a pivotal moment because they encounter Thaddeus again.
Thaddeus. You mean that backstabbing bandit? I thought we were done with him.
I thought so too. But he shows up, all wounded and helpless, claiming he's changed.
Oh, I bet he had an ulterior motive.
You bet he did. It was a trap, of course. Another ambush, archers in the hills, an orc with a halberd blocking their escape.
Oh, he's so predictable.
But our heroes are ready for him this time. Elsa doesn't hesitate to put him in his place.
I hope she gave him a good punch.
Oh, she did. It was glorious.
Yeah?
And the rest of the fight, well, let's just say Luckwin's magic skills are really something else.
They are a resourceful one, aren't they?
And after they mop the floor with the bandits, guess what?
They make Thaddeus lead them to his hideout.
Bingo. And they relieve him of all his ill-gotten gains.
Poetic justice.
Right. It shows that our heroes are not just good. They're also clever, and they're not afraid to get their hands a little dirty.
I like that they're not just goody two-shoes, you know? They have a pragmatic side.
For sure. And with that little side quest out of the way, they're back on track, following that old map deeper into the mountains.
Towards the wall of the world.
Yeah, and as they go, the landscape gets even more desolate, more oppressive.
It's like a physical manifestation of the danger they're heading towards.
Exactly. The author does a great job of using the setting to create atmosphere.
But then they find this little village, Silverthorn. It's like an oasis in the middle of all this bleakness.
An oasis with secrets.
There's always a catch, isn't there?
Right. It seems peaceful at first, but you can tell there's something more going on beneath the surface.
Like a hidden history, or maybe some sort of magical significance.
Exactly. And they hear rumors of another map, one that might hold the key to navigating the mountains.
So, more clues to the mystery.
But then, things take a turn for the spooky again.
What happened? Did they run into more yak folk?
Worse. They stay at this inn, the Sun and Moon Inn, and Elon gets possessed.
Possessed by what?
A ghost. And not just any ghost. A ghost with a thirst for wine, women, and song.
Oh no, that sounds like a recipe for disaster.
It was hilarious, actually. Luckwind shapeshifts into an elven woman, and they end up throwing a party in the cellar to appease the ghost.
Now that's what I call creative problem solving.
Right. But the next morning, nobody remembers what happened. It's like that night was wiped from their memories.
That's creepy.
It really is. Adds another layer of mystery, doesn't it?
For sure. It makes you wonder what else is going on in that town, what secrets they're hiding.
And that's where the excerpt's end, on a cliffhanger.
Of course. Always leave the audience wanting more.
Right. So what do you think happens next?
Well, they're obviously getting closer to the heart of the mystery. And with Eloin's keen eyesight, maybe they'll finally get some answers.
There may be more questions. Who knows? We'll have to wait and see what the author has in store for us.
I'm definitely on the edge of my seat.
Okay, so we left off with Eloin spotting something in the twilight, remember? Out there in the wilds.
Right on the edge of the unknown. Yeah.
Talk about a cliffhanger. I was dying to know what she saw.
Me too. It's like the author knows exactly how to keep us hooked.
So as the sun rises, they pack up their camp, and almost immediately they find Thaddeus.
Thaddeus? Again?
Yeah, I know, right? You'd think he'd have learned his lesson.
But he's lying there, injured, all alone.
Of course, our heroes are suspicious. I mean, the guy has tried to kill them, what, twice now?
At least.
But there's this part of me, and maybe this is just the naive reader in me, but I kind of wanted to believe he changed.
I get that. I mean, everyone loves a good redemption arc, right?
Exactly. But nope.
Another trap.
Oh yeah, big time. Archers hidden in the hills, an orc with a halberd cutting off their escape. It's like a bad rerun.
Oh, that Thaddeus. He never learns.
And the worst part, he tries to stab Elsa in the back.
Yeah.
I know. Thankfully, Elsa's too quick for him. She clocks him right in the jaw, and that's the end of Thaddeus' little comeback tour.
Good riddance, I say.
Right. So they take care of the bandits, no problem, and then they make Thaddeus take them to his camp, right?
Pollute it.
Of course. You know what they say. Crime doesn't pay.
Especially when you mess with our heroes.
So back to the main quest. They're following that old map deeper into the mountains, and the landscape is just getting weirder and weirder.
It's like the world itself is becoming more magical, more unpredictable.
Right, and you can feel the tension building, like something big is about to happen.
And then they reach Silverthorn, this mysterious little town tucked away in the mountains.
What a contrast, right? From the wild, untamed wilderness to this almost secretive little community.
It's like stepping into a different world.
And that's where the excerpts end. Right as they're entering Silverthorn, we're left with this sense of, like, anticipation and dread all mixed together.
The calm before the storm, maybe.
You know, this Helsmuth, it's more than just a story, isn't it? It's like a glimpse into another world, one with its own rules, its own history, its own magic.
I think that's the power of good fantasy, right? It transports you, makes you believe in the impossible.
And it makes you think about good and evil, about fate and free will, about the choices we make and the consequences that follow.
And the characters, they feel so real, so relatable.
Even Thaddeus, in his own messed up way.
Maybe, huh?
This deep dive, it's been a wild ride, hasn't it? Prophecies, betrayals, haunted inns, a town shrouded in mystery. I can't wait to see what the author comes up with next.
I know, right? I'm hooked. And I bet our listeners are too.
So, to everyone listening, if you haven't checked out Helsmuth yet, do yourself a favor and give it a read. It's a journey worth taking. And until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep diving deep into the stories that spark your imagination.